I'm like, she's 33. She can't be this kid's mom, but
I know. That's what I see. A lot of haters. I just, Mother's Day just passed, and I did some promos for Pornhub that were like MILF Day, kind of cute little things, and I got some comments like, "Oh yeah, another one of those girls, not even old enough to be a mom." Like, my daughter's actually turning 15 in a few weeks, so like I'm the most legit MILF there is. Yeah, I'm the definition of a MILF.
that was a little taste of this week's guest, adult film star Britney Amber, just telling it how it is. So if you want to hear about the adult film industry and all the other things she has going on, you're going to have to listen to the full interview. But first, hit the bonus theme. Hey there, Doug here. This week's bonus interview is such a blast. I hope you had a great Memorial Day yesterday. But it's time to celebrate here at The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel because, man, I was so lucky enough to interview adult film star Britney Amber. We talked about how she got started in industry, her favorite horror movies. We talked about the mainstream roles that she's been doing and how taking a few acting classes back in college just changed her whole career. So one movie that you have to check out that she was in is Girls, Guns, and Blood. It's free on Amazon Prime. No excuses. Check it out. And then in July, she has a film starring Eric Roberts coming out. It's called The Arrangement. And that should be pretty fun. She has a cool role in it. She said it really had people afterwards asking like, hey, do you want to do some more acting? Which is great for her because you're going to love her. And what I'm going to do is she has so many links, so many websites, a YouTube channel to check out. I'm going to put them all in the episode notes. But if you just search Britney Amber, trust me, you're going to find her. It was funny yesterday getting ready to put this interview out. I posted on Instagram. I'm so new to all this. I posted like an Insta story and I was like, hey, I'm so excited to release this interview. She like retweeted it or re-put it in her story. See, I'm 33, but I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know why. But yeah, so she like put it in her story and I thought it would be so funny. Like her 1.2 million followers, these guys are like, oh, Britney Amber, new story. It's my ugly face. No beard shave, no haircut because of this pandemic. But yeah, so anyway, without further ado, here's the amazing Britney Amber. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time. This is awesome.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah. I hope you're staying sane with everything going on and not being able to go out.
Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty busy most days.
Oh, that's good.
Doing my own content and everything these days, yeah.
That's cool you're able to do that. You know, you got to think how many years ago if something like this happened, there wouldn't be like any content. You wouldn't have musicians or artists or performers like yourself be able to still make a living.
Yeah, I know. It couldn't happen at a better time for me, honestly.
No, definitely. Well, it's pretty cool. So what I like to do is find out like how people started, where they grew up. And so where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the town that I live in now, actually, in Beaumont, California, near Palm Springs, California.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up out there?
Well, the town that I live in now it was a lot smaller town, about a fourth of the population that it currently is. And there was, there's still not very much out here, but we have like a Bed Bath & Beyond,
nice.
A Walmart, a Best Buy, all these things that we didn't have back then. Back then, we only had a Kmart and a few restaurants. There was nothing else around. It was all cow fields.
And how long were you gone before you recently came back, or did you always have residence there?
Well, I've always lived in the Inland Empire area, which is just the general from, I would say, Inland Empire starts like Ontario all the way down to, I guess, Banning, Cabazon, or around where the desert region kind of starts.
Oh, sweet.
And kind of like around my town is like the end of the Inland Empire. Yeah. Wait, what was I talking about the Inland Empire for again?
Oh, no, I was just asking about like that area. So you were like breaking it down.
Oh, yeah. That's why. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I was like, I kind of lost my train of thought. But I've always lived in the Inland Empire area. So I've lived in San Bernardino. I've lived in Riverside most of my life, though, in Beaumont. And I think I've only lived about 10 years of my life between those two other cities. And then both of them are about 30 miles or so from Beaumont. So yeah, basically always the same area.
Yeah, California is beautiful. We lived in I'm in New Jersey now. That's where me and my wife grew up. But like growing up, we always grew up here. We went to school here. So we were like, we gotta get out of here. So we moved to Portland, Oregon, but we took that trip. Her uncle lives in LA. So we took like that trip up. Her cousin is a farmer out in Santa Cruz. So then, and one of our buddies lived in Northern California, right on the Oregon border. So no, it's beautiful up there.
Yeah, so beautiful up there. Yes.
So I gotta ask you, did you ever do, just like given like your work and then the films you did, like Girls, Guns, and Blood, and I know the arrangement didn't come out yet, but even in the trailer.
Yeah.
But so did you ever do like any acting like in like high school or middle school?
I actually took quite a few acting classes in college.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I was already in the industry when I went back to school, and yes, it helped my acting so much, those classes. I got to say, I'm so happy I did that. When I first started, I remember one of my first shoots was with Girlfriend's Films, and I was doing a scene with I think her name is just Raven. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She was around for a long time, but I think, or Raven Black or Raven, something Raven. But I got to look that up. But anyways, she was a really good actress. She had been in the business for many, many years at this point, you know, and we were just doing dialogue, and I didn't even know like the first thing about acting. I was so nervous, and I literally almost started crying. I was just like, I can't do this. Oh my God. Yeah. And I was 21 years old when I got into the industry. And then it was a few years that I had been in the industry, maybe 2 or 3 years, when I had gone back to school and took, I think it was 4 acting classes altogether. But man, that really transformed me. And after that, I started doing a lot of features in the industry, and these feature movies have tons of acting in them, you know, long scripts. And then that branched into doing these indie films. And yes, Girls, Guns, and Blood came out recently. The Blu-ray versions came out, and I don't think the DVDs came out. I don't know if they're even going to do DVD copies of this, but they have covers for each of the main girls. So you can get the cover with my specific character on the cover. So that's fun.
Yeah, I actually have that. So if people like obviously listening to podcasts, like, but people like when I put it on YouTube, I put like usually like the static image of like the cover art I do. So it'd be like a photo of you and like my logo and everything. So I'm like recording this, and one of the images behind me is your cover. It says Britney Amber as Tricks.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yes.
With the gun in your hand.
Oh, it's actually a bow. It's a compound hunting bow. And that's actually my real bow. They let me go ahead and bring that with me to Texas, where we shot the film. And before I had even auditioned or anything, her character wasn't supposed to have a bow. Her character wasn't supposed to have an accent, but it just kind of evolved into this. I'm like, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I bring this? And it's like, yeah, go for it. And it really added so much to the character.
That is awesome that you're able to do that. And one of the scenes, I didn't get to see the movie yet, but I'm going to watch it. But in the trailer, it's like one of those shots, and it could have been one take, or it could have multiple, but you're in the background, and one of your co-stars, she is like tossing some guy with her legs, and he flips it in the air. And your reaction was like so real. Like, oh my God, that just happened. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, many of those guys that they had in the movie were actually also stunt guys too.
Oh,
so
sweet.
They were doing their own stunts. Yeah, and they were really, really good. And I'm just like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. And during that scene too, or it was actually right before that scene, there's a part where Cleo Valentine has a fire sword, and they were really using it. They have the sword thing, they lit it on fire.
Wow.
And he has the top of a trash can he's using as like a shield, and it's, oh my gosh, everyone was watching from the kitchen from inside, and we're like, oh my God, like this is, because it was real. It was actually real. There was nothing fake about that at all. I was like, oh.
So from doing that movie, what was first? Was it that one or the arrangement?
We did Girls, Guns, and Blood first, and then the following year, it was in February, not this year, but last year, we shot the arrangement out in Philadelphia, and that movie is set to July 7th. So we got a release date on it. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger production than Girls, Guns, and Blood, and there were some really great actors in it, and it was more, I don't know if you've seen Girls, Guns, and Blood, but it's more like a campy B-movie, kind of Quentin Tarantino style, grindhouse kind of movie. And I really like that. I really like those campy B-movies, but the arrangement's a lot more serious movie. It's like an indie thriller, and so I didn't have as big of a role in this movie, but it was an important role, and I got a lot of good feedback about it. A lot of people from the cast were like, "Oh my gosh, you did so good!" And I'm like, "Yes, I got to watch the movie. They sent me the screener code, and I was like, oh, I was very, very proud of it."
That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully they have me back for some more stuff. Even Girls, Guns, and Blood, hopefully it happens. But the director has talked a little bit here and there throughout the past couple of years about wanting to do a sequel and have ideas for the sequel. So hopefully that does happen, because that was so much fun shooting that movie.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Now, did you get from doing these two films, obviously what you do in the adult film industry nowadays, like when I was younger, like the first time I ever saw it, and like me and my buddies would like find our dad's like old pornos, and they would be like almost like, there wouldn't be really, obviously they had like acting and scenes like back then, but they were more like not anything. But now they're like legit, like, I don't know, there's like so much acting involved, and it's like really good acting, and the scenes nowadays that people would watch, it's pretty phenomenal. So from doing these two movies, and obviously like you said, the long strips and these features that you're doing, do you have like the itch to do more mainstream movies?
Yeah, nothing that I've produced or that I've pursued so far, but if it comes my way, then I'm very happy and excited for it. But just especially this year, like within the past year, I've been shooting my own content at home, and I feel like I have like no extra time. That's the main reason why I haven't really like cracked down and pursued it, just because I'm always busy. But if something comes my way, then I'm like, oh hell yeah, sometimes things just pop up like that,
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe I will pursue it within the next year or two. I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of play things by ear, but
no, that's good.
So if anybody's listening out there, put me in your minty.
Yes.
I'll plug it now. I don't know.
No, that's awesome. So to go back, so you said you started in the old adult film industry, you were 21. So when did it change for you? Because I think we're right around the same age. I'm not going to say your age right now.
Yeah, I don't care. It's okay. I was born in 86.
Yeah, me too. I think we're right by each other. So I don't know if like the birthdays are ever real. Like when I was like trying to do research on you to see it, not just obviously what you've done your work wise, but like other things. So one thing that on there I'll mention later, and we'll see that's true. But I was born October 5th, 86, and I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so you're a month older than me.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Because I was born November 10th, and for some reason, I think it was December 4th in some other year, I don't remember, started circulating as my birthday, and that's not true. And always around December, I'll start getting like, oh, happy birthday. I'm like, no, it was last month.
Yeah. So when did it change? Because from that, and so in 2013, that's when you won Best Female Performer of the Year. Obviously, you were you were well known before that. What changes like in an industry like that you can get to that level? Because you're right now, when Tanya got back to me and said, well, you know what, Britney Amber would talk to you. And I'm like, come on. She's like, you're like one of the most popular people out there.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, no, I definitely, so I'm sorry. So you're saying like, when did it change as in
like your career wise, like
I felt like I was getting more popular.
Yeah. Like, how does that happen?
Oh, so, but back to what you were saying about, winning the Best Female Performer in 2013. So that specific year prior to that, I started in the parody Barbed Wire Triple X, and that one got a lot of attention for me, and I got quite a few nominations for that. And then I also won the best female performer. For that movie, I'm pretty sure, because that's what really got me a lot of attention that previous year. So also, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, getting those movies that have a lot more acting and stuff, and those ones get a lot more attention, a lot more publicity, a lot more advertising. And so, yeah, that was the beginning of my climb up. But also, to backtrack a little bit, though, I feel like when I very first got in the business, and this is true for a lot of girls too, and I don't really know if it's like that these days, but especially back when I got in the business, you're really popular like when you first get in the business because nobody shot you and everybody wants to shoot you. And I was doing tons of magazines and magazine covers and all this stuff then. So I was very popular when I first got in the business. I was getting a lot of award nominations and stuff too. And then it kind of dipped a little bit and then it kind of spiked back up around when I did Barbed Wire. So there's peaks and valleys and all this stuff, but now that I've been in the business 12 years and, I know I use social media and I get booked in a lot of projects, a lot of big projects with acting and stuff pretty regularly. I feel like it's pretty much always peaks now. It's just like, I still even feel like it's on the up and up even after all of these years. So
that's awesome.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
Have you ever thought, maybe you have you done any directing at all?
Not for any other companies. I just, directed my own projects, but that's something that I'm definitely interested in. I definitely would jump on that if anybody offered, because I feel like I would be a really good director. I feel like I am.
No, I think that's really cool. Like when I first contacted Tanya, because she was in a sequel that me and my buddy were reviewing, and I think that was really cool that she does that. I think it's great in any industry, whether it be like a football's union. I think it's cool when people are in it that actually do it. It's like you go to a restaurant and it's really good to have the manager be a guy that used to be a waiter or a cook and know what's going on. So if you were on set and you were directing, I'm sure you know it rather than some guy that just came out of film school.
Yeah, no, I know. I've had so much experience. And yeah, you just really pick up a lot of things along the way, not only with, lighting and cameras and angles and, just how to build sets. Like there's so many makeup, hair, like costumes, everything. There's so many things that go into this that you don't think about. And yeah, you just pick up a little bit here and there along the way. And yeah, it's impossible after 12 years not to pick it all up, No,
that's good. And to be in the industry that long, I'm not saying other people don't do that, but it's hard. There is obviously a burnout factor. Like you said, like right now, how much you're working, and it's a time when other people aren't able to work. So that's a good thing for you. But it's an industry. Yeah. Sometimes I'm sure if you look at a lot of people don't last as long. But I think it's a big thing for you. Like you said, you're acting, that you're able to take those acting classes, and you're a pretty good actor. Like you're very believable in all those roles that you're in. And then I say, she's 30. So I'm like, she's 33. She can't be this kid's mom, but.
I know. That's what I see. A lot of haters. I just, Mother's Day just passed, and I did some promos for Pornhub that were like MILF Day, kind of cute little things. And I got some comments like, oh yeah, another one of those girls, not even old enough to be a mom. Like my daughter's actually turning 15 in a few weeks. So like I'm the most legit MILF there is.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
But yeah, I'm the definition of a MILF. That's what it is. You're having a child that's old enough to have her peers fantasize about you. That's what it is, and that's what I am. So I don't know why I have so many haters out there trying to be like that. But I don't know. I don't know if it's really coming from a nice place. They're like, oh, you look so young. Well, thank you. If it's that case, then thank you.
What is that like with your daughter's like friends?
Well, my daughter, she's like all of her friends are online pretty much. She has friends like for all these other, her best friend's from Canada, and she talks to her more than any people in person. She's like one of those kind of like loner computer geek kind of, into coding and all that kind of stuff. So we haven't had too many encounters. There's been a few weird things over the years, sure. But yeah, we're working out all the kinks, but yeah, I guess to be more specific, there's been a couple of kids at school that found out. I don't even know how, because like I said, she doesn't really have kids around me, and I just go pick her up in a parking lot. Like how do kids make these connections? I do not know, but yeah, she was being harassed by a couple of kids that were pulling up my pictures and my Pornhub and things on their phone and putting it in her face. And we're like, oh, is this your mom? Is this your mom?
It's like that's the one thing about it. Like the people that are like that and the people that are like anti like pornography, I bet you if you like could follow them home, they're the people that are watch it more than anybody else, but they have to like put off this. There's just like this whole stigma about it. And it's like to the point like now, especially it's 2020, like, come on, please.
Yeah. No, I know the school was very much on my side about all of this, and they really handled it well. Yeah. Because I was like, that is kind of an unprecedented thing. I mean, I don't even know what to compare that to. When I was in school, nobody really had phones, and you couldn't pull up the internet on them and, you know, harass a kid with porn. But I feel like that deserves a big punishment. Like, I don't know, but they were just, they didn't really know how to handle it either. It was an unprecedented thing for them too on their side. And I'm just like, I'm going to take these kids down. But we got it handled though.
Bring the crossbow in next time.
Yeah. No, we got it handled properly. And I'm happy with the way everything was handled. Yeah. But that was the only thing. And, you know, I knew that there would be some kind of, you know, of course things would happen along the way, you know, but you know,
no, I'm sure
we made it over that hump. Yeah.
so one thing I jotted down, I forgot to mention, we were talking about the arrangement earlier. So how was it? How was Eric Roberts working with him? Were you a fan of his, like, you know, growing up and all the movies he was in?
No, the only reason I've ever heard of him was from his daughter and obviously Julia Roberts. Yeah. You know. Yeah, he's, I guess, notorious for doing all of these like B movies and stuff, and he wants to have the record for the most IMDb entries or whatever. I guess that's what his whole thing is. I guess that's why he does like every movie that he gets propositioned for.
Well, he was huge.
I guess he's like number 3 now or whatever. Last time I heard when we were on set, they said that he's like in 3rd place.
That's
and the
amazing.
other people that are above him are actually dead, I guess. So I don't know. So he's got a good shot.
Oh my God, that's amazing. No, the thing I always think of him whenever I see him in these movies, and then he'll pop up in like, he was in the newer Batman movies, like The Dark Knight, he plays a mob boss. But no, he was,
does he?
Yeah, he was in like 2 or 3 huge 80s movies. That's really funny that he
was in some Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, right?
Yeah, he played a bad guy in one of those movies. And then he was in a movie that he was like a karate fighter, and his karate coach, I'll never forget this movie, but his karate coach was James Earl Jones, which makes
wait, what was the name of the movie?
It was called Best of the Best, and they made 3.
Okay. Yeah. Oh really? No, I've never even heard of that.
They're like so bad that it's good kind of movies. But so I mentioned before, like I was seeing things like you're talking about your birth date is wrong in the internet in different places. One thing, I don't even know what the website was. It said you were a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Yeah, I am, but I'm more of a fan of Hellraiser than that. I don't know where.
Cool.
No, I wouldn't like namely say that one, but it's up there with my top ones. But I do have an affinity for like 80s and 90s horror films. I do have like a lot of memorabilia in my room and different little toys and Funko Pops and stuff, and a lot of Hellraiser stuff though. More
That's
Hellraiser
awesome.
than anything.
What's like your most prized possession that you have?
I have this Hellraiser doll that a fan got for me, and it's really cool. It says like 20 different phrases from the movie, and it has all these little attachable weapons and stuff. And he holds a box and everything. He's about 2 feet tall. He's really cool.
That's awesome. No, that's on our list. I want to get somebody, because I try to interview people that worked on a movie sequel, whether it be like an actor, director, producer, and then I get like behind the scenes stories of it, and then me and my buddy like watch it and talk about it. But no, those would be pretty cool. I was lucky enough to interview Lisa Wilcox from Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5. She was pretty cool. And no, 80s and 90s horror are the best. I love the Jason movies.
Yeah. An ex of mine was obsessed with Jason movies, and actually had to hunt, for one of his birthdays, I hunted down some, this original movie poster, and I had to like authenticate it and everything too, to make sure it was like in perfect condition and everything. It was like a few $100, but yeah, he has like all of these, what are they called? I forgot what the line of dolls are, but it's a popular line of dolls from like each movie he has. They're all like on little stands.
Oh, sweet.
The name, it's like right on the tip of my tongue, but it's a popular line of dolls. But anyways, yeah, he has ones from each of the movies, and yeah, I don't know. I hope to add to my collection more and more soon. I was more about it like a couple of years ago, but I still have all my stuff around my room.
That's pretty cool. Why horror? Was it just something you saw at a young age and you loved it, or was it something later in life you liked?
Well, it was mostly, it came from when I was little. It's just nostalgic from my past, like around, I just, like my earliest memories actually are watching Hellraiser. And I think that's why specifically awesome. Hellraiser is one of my favorites. I think I was like around 4. This is one of my most earliest memories, though, was when I was 4, and my cousin, which I don't talk to anymore, but she was with me, and we lived in this little house, and we were in the living room. But we never watched it like it was a horror movie, like it was scary or anything. We were just like watching it, having a great time, like laughing about it. Remember the opening scene where they have those poles with the hooks and have the skin hanging off, and she was like laughing. No, we were like laughing at it. We were like, oh, it's chicken skin, because they punched in close to the skin. You could tell it's chicken skin. We're just like laughing about it. I don't know. So that's how we always kind of took horror movies. And she was more of a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, because even her parent, or my aunt and uncle, they got her. I remember she had this Freddy doll that was kind of like this puppet that I really, really liked. But yeah, she was more of a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, but I loved it, Hellraiser, and so did she. But that's where it all kind of sprung from. And then in my teens and like early 20s, you kind of just, I don't know, or like evolving, and I don't know. Yeah, you kind of like put to the side those things that you liked when you were, but for some reason I've noticed for a lot of people, those kind of things do come back. They start seeping back when, we start to get older, and then you start to get like those nostalgic feelings for those things. And I think that's why I started collecting the dolls, and I look at them, it makes me happy. I don't know.
No, that's true. It reminds me of like a simpler time. I remember like I watched Nightmare on Elm Street. My neighbor was 4 years older. So I remember I watched it at 5 years old, and I could not sleep for like 2 days. My parents had to like pretend something was in like a glass of water. They told me they gave me something that'll help me like go to sleep, and maybe it was something, but I think it was just water. But it was like fear of seeing that movie, and just like, obviously when people went to sleep, bad things happen. But no, you're right. I think it's like nostalgic thing. Then I'll watch like a Friday the 13th, and it reminds me of being a kid watching like Monster Vision, or just having like sleepovers when you're a kid and you watch horror movies.
Yeah, I know. I never a lot of kids. My sister actually didn't take horror movies well. I know a lot of kids don't, I guess. And I think it's the way that parents kind of introduce them, or lack thereof. Like usually a kid will just find it, and then the parents like, oh my God, and just act all weird. But my mom was just never weird about it. It was just like, oh, she doesn't get nightmares and whatever. If she wants to watch it, she can. And I never took it as something that I shouldn't have been doing, or something that was wrong, or something that was scary, or something that would give me nightmares, because that's what parents usually do when they find out, or that they've watched a movie, or that, the movie's all like, oh, it's going to give you nightmares. Oh my God. Start to, get all like that. So that it gets in their head like, oh my God, I'm going to have a nightmare. And then they have a nightmare because of that, No,
that's true. It's like the kids, like nowadays, like some of the movies that I saw as a kid, like my daughter's only, she's a year and a half. But like when she gets older, I couldn't imagine like some of the movies I would watch at a young age that I would show her at that young of an age, which it's not like it would have any effect on her, but it's like, I guess like the parent in you, like your mindset changes. But would you show your daughter Hellraiser at 6 years old? Obviously she's older.
Well, I was actually just thinking about that when you were talking about that. And yeah, actually I've tried a few times to have her watch. So how old was she? I think she was about 10 when I tried to have her watch Scream. And I remember I was just like going through, old movies. I'm like, oh, like I loved Scream when I was 10. That's around the age that I was when that movie came out. And I thought it was like, it really is a great movie, especially part 1. And so she came out while it was on. I'm like, oh, Noelle, come over here, watch it with me. And she wouldn't. She's like, no, that movie's not for me. I'm going to have nightmares. And so the thing is, too, I think she got that from So my ex and I have been split up since she was 2, almost 3. And so, his wife is like one of those, what's the word? Like self-righteous mothers that are like, oh, you can't have sweets and you can't do that. And so I'm sure that's where all that came from, because over there, I know that they were saying too, if anything's like over PG-13, then she can't watch it and stuff, and had, really instilled that. And I'm like, no, don't listen to that. Like, I'm the one telling you it's okay to watch it. It's not going to give you nightmares. It's just a movie. It's actually a really good movie. She's like, no, I'm going to get nightmares. And even still, she's kind of like that. And, she's almost 15, and there'll be a movie on. I'm like, come on. Like, she has no interest in it. And she's like, she only wants to watch it if it's like for her age group. She's like, oh, is it PG-13? Okay. Then I'm like, all right.
Then I'm good. I follow the rules.
Yeah, she's very much a follow. I got so lucky with her too. Yeah, she's really like that when it comes to anything in life. It just follows the rules like to the T.
That is good.
She did not get that from me. I don't know where that came from.
But yeah, less worrying. But no, Scream 1, like we were talking about before, we're around the same age. And I love Neve Campbell. But I don't know last time you saw Scream 2. But if you watch that again, I think it's on Netflix. The cast in that movie is like mind-blowing.
Yeah, let me think. That's the one where she went to college, right? Or wait,
so
is that the college one?
Yep. So it's what's his name? God, I think of his name. Who?
The like handsome guy. I know you're talking about. Jerry
O'Connell.
He was in a bunch of movies back then. Yeah, Jerry O'Connell. Yeah.
Timothy Olyphant's in that movie. Liev Schreiber is Cotton Weary.
Yeah.
And there's like so many people.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the sister from Roseanne is somebody. I don't want to spoil it if nobody's ever seen Scream 2, but
you know what? Now that you said that, I never put that together.
Yeah,
that was the same woman. Whoa! Holy shit!
Yeah, and now she just won. I think she just won an Oscar like 3 years ago for Lady Bird. She plays like the wacky mom in that movie. But
oh wow!
Well, this has been so much fun, Brittany. So where can people find you? I'm going to put all your links in the bottom, but you have so many different things. Obviously, you have a website.
Yes, I do.
Is it BrittanyAmber.com?
Well, yes. I'm actually in the process of, Cherry Pimp still owns that site, and I'm in the process of getting that site so that I can link it to my OnlyFans. I wouldn't say to go there right now. That's kind of just a landing page for Cherry Pimp. But I do have an OnlyFans, which is onlyfans.com/BrittanyAmber. My YouTube, you guys got to check that out. I'm trying to build up my subscribers and my following over there. And that's youtube.com/ScorpyHo with an H. But if you just put in the search engine Britney Amber, BritneyAmber, then my page should pop right up. And then I just had a new video on there trying Indian snacks. I think it's going to be my new thing. That became popular. So I just ordered a bunch of treats from other countries too. I got one from like East European treats. I got like a broad European, like from like Spain, Italy, and then another one that's like Middle Eastern treats and stuff. So, I'm excited to do more of those videos.
What else are you doing on there? So you're eating different snacks. What other kind of things do you do on your YouTube channel?
Oh, all kinds of things, whatever pops in my head. I've done quite a few, like behind the scenes on set. I've done a couple quarantine vlogs recently. I've done some interviews, some Q&As. I did a bushcraft video where I paint a canvas with my bush. I did that on Pornhub also. Yeah, I also have a Pornhub channel and the fan club over there. If you go to pornhub.com/pornstar/Britney Amber, that will be over there. And then, also Instagram and Twitter is Britney_Amber. They're both the same. It's BRITNEY_AMBER for both of those. So follow me there. And I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of things I'm missing. I feel like I'm on everything these days.
Yeah, well, that's
I'm trying to make my ways around.
Yeah, you got to do that. No, I have all of them, so I put them in the notes, but I'm sure they'll be able to find everything else from that. And thanks for taking the time. I'm excited to see the arrangement. I'm gonna watch Girls, Guns, and Blood. And I really hope two things. I really hope is obviously you like to fly by the seat of your pants, which is great. But I really think it'd be really cool if you direct it because you've done it for so long, and I'm sure you know it.
Yeah,
a lot of people when you go on set, they could be somebody that's only done it a few years, and I think it'd be really cool if you did a horror movie, like a
Mm-hmm.
mainstream horror movie, and then you could be, not fulfill a dream, but that'd be pretty rad.
Yeah, no, I know. It's right though. Like it's very ingrained inside of my mind, so I should definitely use it. But I was also going to say about Girls, Guns, and Blood, if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free.
Oh,
so anybody
sweet.
watching, anybody listening, yes, there's no excuse. If everyone's got Amazon Prime, so
You have
you
to.
definitely watch it for free. Yes, yes, you will enjoy it. It's actually a really, really good movie, and it's not very long. It's like an hour and 15 minutes or something. So
Yeah, and Christine Nugent, she's in a lot of cool, like gun kind of like action sci-fi movies too.
Yeah. This director that did this movie, he has her in a lot of stuff that he does. He does a lot of those kind of movies. So yeah, he's definitely in it too. Yeah.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. I wish you nothing but the best.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye.
All right. So that was Britney. She was so cool. I really hope she does direct because she knows the industry inside and out. And thanks, Britney, if you're listening to this. I appreciate you taking the time. It was a lot of fun. Now, don't forget this Thursday, our interview that I did with Troy Byer. She was in one of my favorite movies of all time, Weekend at Bernie's 2. And then next week, we're going to be reviewing it, and we have a guest coming back. Her name's Gina. You might remember her from Karate Kid Part 3, or our world of sequels. We're introduced to the lovely Terry Silver. So remember, don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. Check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.